Most people think that speaking your mind is a sign of strength, but my friend, it is actually the moment you lose your crown. Have you ever won an argument, only to realize you lost the respect of everyone in the room? You felt that heat in your chest, you spoke too fast, and now you're carrying the heavy invisible burden of trying to fix what your emotions broke. This weight you feel isn't just regret, it's the weight of carrying stones that were never yours to begin with. Stay with me. I'm going to show you the cold pause. By the end of this story, you'll discover how to turn that boiling internal fire into an unbreakable authority that never needs to shout. But there is a hidden reason why most people fail to master this. A mistake so subtle that it keeps you a slave to your own nerve. We will uncover this trap in a moment. Let's begin. Kyle was a man of brilliance, but his mind was a tinderbox. He stood in the center of the boardroom, his latest masterpiece on display. Everything was smooth until a voice from the back dared to question him. Suddenly the air grew heavy. A single critique lit the shortest of fuses. His face flushed crimson. His heart was a trapped bird screaming to get out. Before he could process the thought, his tongue had already done the damage. A sharp, stinging retort flew out, cutting like a blade. In that split second, Kyle felt a surge of power, but it was a lie. The room fell into a suffocating silence, the silence of withdrawal. Kyle had won the argument, but he lost the room. This is the invisible burden. Every time you snap, you aren't just defending yourself. You are picking up a heavy stone of guilt and a difficult label that sticks to your name like wet clay. You are burning your own house down with your own fire. But here is the mystery. Kyle was leaking his vital energy into the void, and he didn't even know it. There is a secret strategy to protect your dreams that most people never learn, a way to keep your crown from slipping off. To find it, Kale had to go to the mountain, but what he found in the heat of the forge was nothing like what he expected. Kale reached Master Silas's forge with a heart full of grievances and a ready tongue. He didn't come for peace. He came for a weapon, his battle. My friend, he was so busy describing his enemy that he missed the masterpiece right in front of him. Silas didn't even look up. While Kyle shouted, Silas simply kept his rhythm. Clink, clink, clink. For 2 long hours, Kyle recited every slight he'd ever felt, expecting sympathy. But Silas remained a fortress of stillness. You see, every word Kale uttered was a leak in his internal pressure. He was exhausting himself just by trying to prove he was right. This is the mistake many of you make. You try to justify your pain to people who aren't even listening, picking up more stones along the way. Silas finally looked at him and said, "You cannot even lead your own tongue, which is the smallest of your soldiers." But then Silas did something that made Kale's skin crawl. He reached into the white-hot heart of the coals, not for a tool, but for something far more dangerous. You're about to see the physical representation of your own soul when it's out of control, and it's not what you think. Silas drew out a long rod of iron, glowing with a terrifying white-hot intensity. "Take it," the master commanded. Kyle gripped it with thick gloves and tried to use it to prop up a heavy stone slab, but the moment the pressure hit, the iron didn't hold. It sagged and buckled into a useless, glowing curve. "This is your emotion when you let it speak for you," Silas whispered. "It feels powerful because it's hot, but it has no structure. My friend, when you react in anger, you are trying to build a fortress out of warm butter. You are burning your own hands just to prove you have a fire inside. Most people think being real means showing every spark, but that is a strategic error that robs you of your most precious internal resource. You are like a seed baking under the sun. Without the coolness of the earth, you will shrivel into a desert of ash. But there is a way to turn this destructive heat into a blade that never breaks." Kyle was looking at a tragedy, but Silas was about to show him a masterpiece. However, to reach that strength, Kyle would first have to endure a shock that most people are too afraid to face. A moment of total surrender. Silas plunged the glowing rod into a deep vat of water. A violent hiss erupted, filling the forge with a thick white shroud of steam. That sound, it's the ego's final cry. It's the moment you force your chaotic fire to submit to a higher order. When the steam cleared, The rod was no longer orange and trembling. It was dark, matte, and possessed a quiet, terrifying strength. This is the secret of the tempered soul. True authority wears a cloak of silence. When the heart boils, the mouth must be ice, Silas whispered. Real kings don't react. They respond from a place of cold, calculated stillness. To help Kyle and you master this, Silas revealed the 5-second forward. Before any word leaves your lips, you must count to 5 and visualize your anger being quenched in water. But here is what Kyle discovered. Mastering a 5-second pause is only the first step. To truly stop carrying the stones that belong to others, you need to understand the architecture of your own boundary. There is a specific reason why you feel guilty when you stay silent, and until you resolve that, even the forge won't save you. I will show you how to break that final chain in just a second. Kyle walked down that mountain not with a louder voice, but with a heavier, more silent presence. He finally understood that his feelings were the fuel, not the driver of his ship. He returned to his world, ready to face the skeptics with a heart of fire and ice. The burden was gone, replaced by a strength that commanded respect without a single shout. But my friend, you and I know that in the real world, the boiling water of life doesn't stop just because you've seen the ford. Many of the stories you hear here aren't just story. They reflect the invisible weight you may be carrying every day. The same weight Kyle felt before he met Silas. The truth is, even with the 5-second forge, if you don't know which stones to drop, you will always be exhausted. If you're tired of holding pain, responsibility, and guilt that were never yours, I created a practical path. I call it the weight of stones that are not you. It's for those who want to let go, set boundary, and live with more lightness. To ensure your iron stays tempered, I'm also including 2 vital bonuses: learning to let go, and when saying no is an act of self-love. These are the blueprints to ensure you never lose your crown. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Stop burning your hands on glowing iron. It's time to walk with the silent strength of a king.